What's going on, guys? First off, I want to start this video by thanking everyone that's been supporting the channel the past couple months. I just got back from Pax West, so you will be noticing I didn't really post content the past couple days. Well, first off, I don't really post on the weekends, but I didn't post yesterday because I ain't gonna lie to you guys, the jet lag was real. And then not only was the jet lag, it was a 3-hour difference. I digress. We don't really need to go into that. But be sure to sub to the channel if you want some of that PAX West coverage. You know, I went over there and I talked to Sega, and I got some stuff to talk about when it comes to that. But anyway, let's get on with the point of the video. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about Starfield. You know, I would say a vast majority of you are playing Starfield right now. And if you're not, you'll be playing it tomorrow when the actual game releases. Keep in mind, all of these sales, all of this review nonsense, it has taken place before the game even comes out to the masses. It was during either the early access or the reviewing process. But what I want to talk about is Starfield, the quality of the game, and now Xbox kind of can do a fresh reset. What I mean by fresh reset is, look, it's no secret that the Xbox One generation was very underwhelming in a lot of different aspects with a lot of different games. Was the whole generation bad? No. There was some good stuff that happened in that generation. But I would say that for the most part, that generation was looked bad on because it was inconsistency in terms of when you would get, high quality games. There was a lot of factors that led into the Xbox One generation, and it's taken Phil Spencer years to recover from the beginning of that generation. You can argue he still hasn't fully recovered. I do think Starfield is one of the turning points. Now, there's been turning points in the past, but the quality of Starfield is the type of game that you need to start getting some good faith back into the consumers. Now, you guys tell me in the comment section below, do you guys think that? I feel like this game hits enough to where people is like, yo, maybe Microsoft got something. Maybe we can expect this type of content from Microsoft and Xbox here going forward. This is what I think needs to happen here going forward. I do feel like this can lead to a fresh reset. I do feel like when it comes to this particular game, they can use this to catapult themselves forward. There's things that need to be done before you can do that, though. One, communication needs to be key. You need to make sure that you're very transparent to everything you do here going forward. You need to show constant roadmaps for Microsoft and constant roadmaps for Xbox. We know about certain things that goes on in the industry, and then there's certain things that we don't know for years and years and years. And I think, that needs to change. Microsoft has the ability, and Xbox has the ability to put out multiple events throughout the years. And I think they need to really captivate on that. E3, Tokyo Game Show, which they are going to be there this year. They got, Gamescom. They got their own directs itself. There's the Paris show. There's a lot of incidences, the Video Game Awards, that they can be there. And I think with the amount of studios, especially when the ABK deal closes, and I said when, not if. I'm pretty sure that deal's going to close. It might not, who knows, but I'm pretty sure it is. Especially when that closes, they're going to have a huge, huge marketing ploy called Call of Duty. Whenever you announce that, it's going to be revolutionary to Microsoft. Just marketing Call of Duty in general is very good for them. Then, what we got to do is we got to really tighten the leash on the rest of the studios. Now, I'm not saying every game got to be AA or every game got to be AAA or every game got to hit to a certain point. I do feel like Starfield is going to be the outliners in terms of quality. We're going to get games of Starfield's quality, but I feel like they're going to be maybe once or twice a year, if that, maybe once a year. I think next year we're probably going to see, I would say either Avowed or Hellblade. It's got to deliver that. You know, not every game got to be to this caliber, to this AAA product, but there's got to be enough that people always looking at Microsoft for the next best thing. You know, right now I would say Hellblade and Avowed. Microsoft and Xbox need to contact those studios. Yo, what do you need? You know, we're coming off of something like Starfield. We don't want to go back. We need to go forward. Even if we don't get games like Starfield, because I would say Starfield's like a once in a generation type of game, we need high quality games. So that's why I believe that they need to really tighten the leash on the rest. I would say the next best game that might captivate on this level with them is like Fable, because I think Fable is going to be a trend pusher to a degree, you know. And also they need to, really work on listening to the community. They do this very well. You know, we can always say they do this very well. They talk to the consumers. They talk to the content creators, the influencers, the podcasters. You know, keep that up. Microsoft needs to make sure that Xbox is out and center with communication 24/7. Starfield, I do feel like gave them a refresh. It gave them the ability to come out there and be like, look, we're still in this to make good, fun games. And I think for the most part, people have got that. Now, obviously, there's a whole fiasco with the reviews where, some of you wouldn't agree with certain reviews that's went out in certain outlets. That's a different subject, different video entirely. But even with that being done, Microsoft knows that they hit it out of the park with Starfield. I haven't really seen this type of interactive on the feed on Twitter since like Elden Ring. And the fact that I'm comparing this game to Elden Ring, which happened last year, and the amount of people talking about this game, the amount of weird stuff I'm seeing on Twitter, weird stuff I'm seeing on YouTube, like they have that quality game. You know, Starfield does a very good job at being unique to everyone that plays it. And I think that's really going to help them in the long run as well. It's like I said, I think the best thing they can do here is just make sure that Hellblade, because I think Hellblade is going to come out before Avowed, or I don't know, maybe Avowed will come out before Hellblade. I'm not quite sure. But make sure those two games come out hitting, I remember Phil Spencer said something about, not every game is going to be like a 90 plus or 80 plus or 85. I can't remember his exact words. He says sometimes you're going to hit the sevens. And to a point, I agree with that. You can never fully understand how the review system works, but I don't think you should have that mentality. You want to always aim for at least an 8 and above. 9 and above would be fantastic, but those are outliners. Those are really hard to come across. I would say that the industry gives out 6, 7s, and 8s and 9s relatively easy, but the 9s and 10s come a little bit harder. Not necessarily impossible to get, but they are harder nonetheless. So that's what I do believe. Focus on your next games. I do think Starfield has made it to where Microsoft can make promises and people will relatively, for the most part, respect the words. For the longest time, I do think that a lot of people just didn't believe Microsoft or Xbox. They're just like, look, man, you've been selling us a dream for years. We got to see results. Well, I feel like Starfield is that first line to show results. And if you want to keep up that line, I do believe that Hellblade and Avowed coming out being successful games, beloved games, is going to eventually get to the point where after you get Starfield, Hellblade, Avowed, and people love those games, there will be no more of this Xbox can't make no games. Truly. I know people like to make fun of that, but the only way to really combat that is to make the fantastic games. This year's been a very good year for Xbox. You got, for sure, Redfall happened, and there's nothing we could really do about that. Hopefully they'll fix that. Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield, Forza is probably going to come out and be relatively good for the most part. I'm not really a racing person myself, but I do think that with these games going forward, as long as you make sure that content in the back and you're, really navigating those development cycles really good, I think Xbox is going to surprise a lot of people. I really and truly do. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys think. Do you think that Starfield is going to give that peace of mind to the audience. I'm very curious to hear that. I think it will. I do think it started a fresh start. It's just pretty much my overall aspects of, post Starfield and what's going to happen. But anyway, put in the comments below what you guys think. Until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.